Hello everyone, कैसे हो सब? So in today's video, we'll cover A to Z of Maven, how to set up Maven in Windows, Linux or macOS, how to exactly use Maven and structure your first Java project, what exactly are the different commands associated with Maven, how to use different plugins of Maven or add your own plugin, and what exactly is Maven deploy, how to deploy your project in Maven repository, and all of these details will be covered in this video. This video is a part of our ongoing playlist which you can find in playlist tab, and it's named Software Engineering and AI. If you want to join us live, the details are posted in the description. Live benefits are community support, doubt support, you'll get projects, you'll get weekly assignments, coding labs, mock interviews, DSA, 101 session, and super peers. Check out the description for more details. Without any further ado, let's start today's video. Before starting this session, right, I hope everyone has, visited our assignment first, at least once, right? And it's fine that if you are not able to solve the questions, even if you are not able to even pass the test case, single test case, right? It's completely fine. We'll pick that assignment in our next session anyways. It's just that I wanted you all to go through the assignment at least once, so that when we are picking that assignment in our next session, uh, you will, you'll be able to understand most of the things, because you must have visited already assignment already once, right? I hope everyone has installed their, IntelliJ in their OS, whatever OS they're using. So if you are ready with IntelliJ, and if you have visited assignment 1, you are on a track, right? So yeah, we'll continue. So for structure and everything, I will make some pointers. Okay, we'll go through these pointers one by one, and we will pick those functionalities, or we'll code some examples and all on the go. And while project also will obviously make some structure, right? So this thing you can serve as a purpose of notes also for the beginners, and for people who are already aware to at least one programming language, they should be able to search in more depth if they want to on any topic, right? So yeah, without any further ado, so today's session is all about Maven, right? So this is one of the topic that people often skip, right? And let me tell you a story. Like when we were making a new service in our organization, so my software architect just asked me what Gradle is, right? Or what Maven is. So I just like ki bhai, you can basically pick a pre-installed Spring Boot project from internet, right? There is no need to go through Maven. But when it comes to deployment, when it comes to integrating some plugins, when it comes to um, you know uh, installing some or I would say deploying some jar, right? Anything, people don't know that, and they will just search the commands ki bhai, what are the Maven commands that they can use, and they will directly use the commands, and they don't know what is going under the hood, right? Why Maven is important, we'll go through that. What commands are there, we'll go through that. And we'll go through how to make a structured project in Java, right? And different things that you will get on initialization of Java project. So there are two things, right? First thing is Maven, second thing is Gradle, right? Gradle, we can switch to Gradle as we progress, but Gradle, there are some pros and cons I will list. So first thing is why Maven, why we are using Maven now, not Gradle, right? So first of all, Gradle is not meant for simple projects, right? Gradle is meant for more complex or more large code bases. And second thing is ki Gradle is exactly like Maven, right? It is exactly like Maven with some differences, like it has its own cache. Like whenever we will use Gradle, it will cache some states of some steps whatever you are running through Gradle. And it has some optimizations. So these optimization as of now, they don't matter. And for us, Maven and Gradle, whatever we'll use, they are same, right, at this point. So we'll go with Maven. So at any point in future, if you want to switch to Gradle, you will be easily able to switch in under, let's say, 5-10 minutes. It's that easy, right? When it comes to switching from Maven to Gradle, or vice versa, right? It's super easy. So what exactly is Maven? Maven again is a program, right? This program is written by someone, okay, some developer. He wrote this program so that our lives, he can make our lives better, right? So it's just a program which can do project management, which can build, right? what exactly build is, we'll come to that when we'll go to IntelliJ. It has third work, which is dependency resolution, right? As you know, like whenever you are making any project, right, you will be using some third party libraries, some dependencies, right, जो किसी ने already internet पे डाली हैं, you will be importing those in your project. So all those things will be automated using some program, and that program is our Maven या फिर Gradle. ठीक है? In Maven we have single main file which matters the most is pom.xml. I think pom is project object model, whatever. Let's check. pom.xml full form, project object model. Yeah, so pom is nothing but just a file, right? So what exactly is xml, I hope people know already, but the only thing is ki in html, if you have seen, you have some tags, predefined tags, right? So this tag will tell you ki by div ke andar jo bhi hai, what is the behavior of this content inside div, right? There is specific, structure associated with div. Similarly is the xml file. It's just that you can put anything. Let's suppose I want to represent anyone's bank account. I can use bank, let's suppose, right? And I can close this tag. Then I can use name inside this tag, and then I can close this name tag, right? And inside name I can say hdfc. So this is just a data structure, or you can say just a structure to store something, right? So this is pom.xml file that we will be going through today, and there are so many hidden things, and there is homework associated also where you will be installing plugin, right? I will come to that. Okay, so how to install Maven in your operating system? For Mac OS people, it's completely super easy. Just go to basically for Mac OS, I'll explain first. For Linux, it's super easy. Just go to terminal, type sudo apt install Maven, and it will install Maven program in your home directory, right? For Mac OS, I hope people who are using Mac, they must have already homebrew installed. So you just have to go to brew.sh. ठीक है? So this homebrew is again another program which you can use to just pull up some common softwares from internet, right? You can install homebrew, and after installing that, you can just type brew install Maven, and it will install Maven program in your home directory, right? For Windows, everything I feel in Windows is complex. I'm just working in Windows because 90% of the people on our channel they do work in Windows. And for Windows, let me give you the commands, right? So let me give the commands in chat. So in Windows, I hope everyone knows what PowerShell is. It's just that your command prompt, your terminal with some extra shaktiyan, right? With some extra powers. So just go into your search menu, search PowerShell. Let me type PowerShell. Right click on PowerShell and run as administrator, right? It will something look like this. How to zoom this, I'm not sure in Windows. Okay, whatever. So in your PowerShell, you just have to, first of all, you have to uh, set some execution policy, and for that you have to run this command, right? Set execution policy, all signed scope, local machine. You are just allowing your operating system to install some programs, right? After that, just copy paste this commands directly, right? And let me know if it worked. First copy paste the first command till local machine, right? ठीक है? In your PowerShell, it will pop up something like yes or no. Just do like allow the whatever you want to install, and then just run the second command. It should install Choco. So Choco is again just like in Mac OS we have Homebrew. In Windows we have something called Choco. You can read about it, but it doesn't matter, right? Choco is just some program that we will use to fetch some dependencies in our Windows operating system, right? So can anyone confirm if these two commands have worked in their machine? We'll proceed. People who are using Windows, let me run itself. If I'll run first command, so you should get execution policy change, executor, how to zoom this thing. Okay, whatever. So Y for yes, A for yes to all. Let's yes to all. Okay. Now it's whatever policy we want to set. Okay, cool. We'll move forward. Okay, so I will basically search on internet ki why it's not working on your system, or you can search yourself ki install Choco on Windows. ठीक है? Let's see. Okay, this I don't think it will work. Individual. set execution policy all signed scope local machine. It should work. Then the second command, just copy paste this command from here. Okay, यहाँ से copy कर लो पूरा and just paste. Let me know if it is working, then we will move forward. ठीक है, फटाफट बताओ. And Mac people and Linux people, you are all right, है ना? You are able to like after doing brew install Maven or sudo apt install Maven, you are able to type mvn in your terminal, right? You are getting something after typing Maven. People who are not on Windows operating system, if you can confirm. Cool, it is working, right, on Windows, right? Gaurav Das, yeah, chocolate installed. Now just type choco install Maven, right? Choco install Maven. It will again ask yes, all, whatever. Just do that. Maven is installed, I hope, right? And once in Windows, there is a common, error which you will get all the time whenever you will install any program. Let's suppose Java, Maven, or even Node.js, pip, Python, whatever. So that's what I was explaining. In Windows, most of the times, whatever program you have installed, whatever binary you want to run. Let's suppose the binary I want to run is mvn Maven, right? Whatever I have installed now, it is running in my computer. Why? So let's see why. So go in search and environment, type environment. I know most of the people are already aware. Just bear with me for 5 minutes, right? Because so envir, you will get some edit environment properties option. Just click on that and go to environment properties, right? So this is the environment properties, like for my machine, like you can see number of processor is 16 and whatever, right? So here you will be able to find Java home. If you are able to find Java home, because see, whenever you are working in Golang also, you will have to set go underscore path, right? Because in Windows, whenever you are running any program, it's very hard for Windows to find it out. And whenever you are installing anything, like in Maven in our case, Java in our case, by default it doesn't set your environment variable. So if you are not able to find this Java home, just create new. ठीक है, new पे click करने के बाद just type it Java capital underscore home, because that is the exact variable that your whatever Maven or Java compiler or anything will look for. Then go to variable value, browse directory, and we have already installed JDK in our session 1. So mostly in program files, I can't zoom this, but in mostly in your program files in Java, just click on JDK 24. You don't have to go to binary. Just click on OK. And when you will click on OK, this Java home will be in your environment global variables. And now you might have to restart your machine also, right? Because sometime your machine will not get, your environment variables will not get picked by your machine automatically. It takes some time to refresh, right? So that's what you must be getting whenever you are typing. Let's suppose, okay, type this command. If people who have installed Maven archetype archetyp generate. If you're in Windows, type this command, okay, in your terminal. You will be getting ki Java home environment variable is not defined correctly. It's just that whenever you are using Maven, it needs Java ka binary or Java in general. And this Maven program that we have installed is not able to find that. And in its internals, it's using Java underscore home as your machine ka variable. So that's why you have to set that. Okay. So add Java home in your environment global variable. Okay. You might have to restart your PC. Okay. So if it is not working now, I hope when you will go through the recording, it will work for, sure. So we'll come to how to generate project. Okay. Maven is not recognized. Yes, that's what you have to restart your PC, right? Whenever you are installing anything in Windows, and if you are getting not recognized, you have to restart your PC. So that's why I asked you to add Java home first, because you will restart your PC and you will still get ki Java home is not set up. This error you will get. Then you have to add Java home again and restart. That's why I asked you ki after Choco install Maven, just go and set your environment variable Java home, and after that restart your PC. Then you will run. It will be able to run like Maven commands and all. Okay, cool. We'll move forward. It's not a hard task. I have just explained. It will work for sure. Okay, so let's go to IntelliJ. Okay, and let's open IntelliJ and open whatever folder you want to. And when you have installed Maven, it will be able to run your command, right? Okay. So now let's generate our first project, which will be structured, which will have its own dependency manager, which will has its own build plugins. Okay, we'll come to that. Maven archetype generate. So this will install some of the dependencies in your system. I have already those dependency where those are installed, and everything will come to that. So choose a number to apply filter. So it's nothing but you can go through the numbers ki by what each number is meant for. Whatever it is saying, just type that. Okay, and 2235, just enter. And now group ID. Okay, group ID. So there is a common structure in Java ecosystem. So you must have known that in any company, if someone is working, or if you are not working in any company, I'll tell you ki the common architecture or project structure that people follow is com or in, right? Com, in, org, right? And that then second thing is your company name itself. Let's suppose you are working in Microsoft, right? What they will name it, org, Microsoft, then whatever, right? So group ID. So group ID, let's go give it com dot whatever your, okay, archetype generate is working fine. Okay, group ID com dot whatever your name is, right? You can give that name, com dot sing dev hub or whatever you want to give. Artifact ID, let's give it my first project. Now version, choosing a number, whatever it is saying. For me it was saying 2235. I just typed the same number and clicked on that number, enter. Then it said ki chose a number, and it's saying 9. I have not chosen anything. I have just clicked enter. Okay, yes, installed, need to restart to work. So whatever this version it is asking, just click like enter. Don't enter anything. I will come to the versioning. And define value of property package com.sing dev hub. Click on enter and click enter. Okay, so after everything, just keep clicking enter, right? So now in this folder I must have got something, my first project, or let's open this project. Okay, this window, cool. So this is what you will get in your first project, right? So Maven has given you one file, pom.xml. There is a structure, right, which is specific to Maven. So whoever wrote Maven, he defined some tags, right, who are identified by Maven. So if you'll give properties to property, it will not work, right, when we will build our project. Now the second folder is src. We'll go through the details ki bhai in pom.xml. We'll go through details what exactly it meant is. Now the second folder you are getting is src. So this is the common structure. Whenever we'll come to Spring Boot also, this will be the structure that it will follow, right? Main ke andar java ke andar whatever you have given folder. First folder is com, second folder is your company, and next is a simple plain application.java extension. You will not be able to see because IntelliJ hides those extensions. Now the second project folder you will see in under src is test java com, first folder sing dev hub and app test. So this test is corresponding to the main method, whatever is written in the app main app file, right? The corresponding test is in app test, right? So we'll come to test driven development also in one session. Cool. So I have just highlighted for your notes. So the most common structure is src. Then under src you have two folders. One is for your code, where you write actual business logic, APIs or whatever, and the second thing is test, where you just write test cases to test your code if it is working fine or not. Then the main whatever is there is pom.xml file, which is responsible of giving a structure to your Maven program. Whatever we have installed now, it needs some structure. pom.xml file is the one who provides structure ki bhai what plugins are installed, what dependencies is this project have, and how to bundle this project. Okay, how to bundle this project so that you can deploy your project on some repository. Okay, so we'll come to that. So first of all, let's see pom.xml file. Let me see if we can zoom. So I have just pasted whatever we have generated here. Okay, in pom.xml file I have just pasted because it's so large that I have to paste in two parts. So you will see something like for XML. So basically pom.xml file is using XML structure, right? Artifact ID is the project name. Okay, good question. Why we are not giving artifact ID when we are generating the project? You can try give this artifact ID. It will create one more folder, whatever we have discussed here, right? It's just that you have com, company name, project name, app.java. Okay. Okay, pom.xml file is your main file who is responsible of telling Maven ki bhai kya karna hai. Okay, so the structure here is that every tag has some significance. Okay, you have XML version encoding, everything is useless. The main thing is ki how your project is identified. So let's suppose whatever project I am making here. Okay, whatever project we are building here, let's suppose my project is done, whatever I wanted to code is done, right? Now I want my code project to deploy somewhere, right? Now that somewhere is Maven repository. ठीक है, जैसे GitHub repository we have, similarly we have Maven repository. Like you have some code, right? You want to deploy this code or just put the code somewhere, you have GitHub repository is nothing but a folder, है ना? Similarly for Java or Maven or Gradle projects, we have specific repositories. We'll come to that, which repositories are there present there. But for these repository to uniquely identify your project, you are pushing a unique project which doesn't exist already in public. So for that you want group ID, which is whatever we have given while archetype generate command. Second is artifact ID, whatever you have given, like ticket booking or MyDB, my load balancer, whatever you have given here will come here. And the last thing is version. We'll come to version when we'll deploy our projects, right? The thing is snapshot is there just because ki snapshot in industry just means ki bhai in this project something is going on, nothing is industry ready. So snapshot is just that ki we are building it. Okay, but as of now just keep it whatever it is. Okay, now comes the main part, which is properties. So you will see ki so the property here is ki Maven ka compiler release ka version is there, which is automatically present when we'll generate our project. This is not important, but the properties in XML file just meant is ki whenever you want to declare some common thing for all, right? Let's suppose I want to use Java version somewhere. Okay, let's suppose here I am using something and I want to pass some variable here also and here also in dependencies. So I can put my variables here. Now here variable is maven.compiler.release, right? Now just keep in mind ki properties naam ki bhi cheez hai na? We'll see how to use that. Now you have dependencies. Okay, in dependency, let's suppose there is some Maven compiler. So here in properties we have Maven compiler release version, Maven compiler release, let's suppose it's 17. So here also you want to use 17, here also you want to 17. All the dependencies are for Maven compiler only. So you just can do like here in version, you can just do this $ and maven.compiler.version. Okay, I'm just telling you this because whenever we'll explore open source repositories, they will declare all the versioning here in properties and they will use those properties under dependency management. Now comes the question, what exactly this dependency management is, right? So okay, so my project, whatever I have set up, I have not added any dependency on my own. Okay, it has all the dependencies which are inbuilt in my Maven archetype generate command. Whichever it has generated is there, right? So let's go through what are the dependencies it has generated. So first dependency, not plugins, dependency. So first dependency it has generated is group IDs org.junit. So one thing you will notice here is that similar structure is used that our project is using. So how I told you is our project is uniquely identified with group ID, artifact ID, version. Using the pair of three, we are uniquely identifying our my first project, right? Similarly, whoever dependency we are using, that dependency or project, whoever made it is uniquely identified by org.junit, okay? And artifact ID junit BOM and version 5.11 point whatever, okay? How to find dependencies, how to include dependency, will come to that. But this is how Maven automatically including some dependencies. So first dependency is junit. It is for testing, but cool. Second dependency, Jupyter or Jupyter API is the artifact ID and will come to scope. And third dependency is whatever params is there, right? It has included 3 dependencies. Now you can see the scope. Scope is import. Here the scope is test. Here the scope is again test. Okay. So this thing, just keep in mind. Now people might say ki, bhai, why you are not explaining this? Because see, this thing has its own time. Okay. When we'll do test driven development, then this parameterized test, what exactly it is will come. Right. Now I can't explain this because our session will deviate. Okay. So that's why as of now, scope import and scope test, what does it mean is whenever you are running your test cases, right? Whenever you are running your test cases, Maven will see that you are running your test case. Okay, which dependencies I have to import? The dependencies who have test scope. Okay. So while running my test cases, it will use this dependency, or while importing anywhere. Let's suppose I want to import in my app. What was the archetype? J org, J unit, whatever. Okay. So I will import something like this. Cool. And this is what import scope means. Okay. Scope import means कि by you are able to import this dependency or package or library which is written by someone. Okay. How these dependencies are coming and all will come to that. So this is how you include dependencies. Now let's come to next thing, which is plugin. Right. Just let me give you the structure of this pom.xml file. Then we'll include dependency and we'll use. Okay. Now after dependencies, whenever you have included all the dependencies in your build step, you have plugins, right? You have plugins. You have first plugin, Maven clean plugin, Maven resource plugin, compiler plugin, Surefire plugin, jar plugin, install plugin, deploy plugin, right? Although the names are self-explanatory, but the thing is we will go through them, what plugins are. Now the common question, okay, how to define the plugin first. It has artifact ID. Okay. It has version, as simple as that. Okay. It doesn't have any this thing. Okay. Though plugins have something called goals and other tags are there, but as of now, whatever Maven has included has only 2 things: artifact, version. So plugins are able to uniquely identify themselves using artifact and version, right? So that's what is written here. If plugins are to extend Maven powers, what exactly I mean here is, I'll come to that. But before that, what is plugin versus dependencies? That line is written here. So this is a common question that people even you can go to your friend who knows Java, okay, or Spring Boot. Just ask him what is the difference between plugin and dependency. Okay. Most of the people are not aware कि भाई dependency and plugin में फर्क क्या है. And when they want to build some project and they want to include some plugin in their project, they are not aware कि why I'm using this plugin, why is not clear in their head, right? So first of all, dependency, whatever we are using, right? Dependencies are nothing but some code written by someone, right? Plugin is also some code written by someone. But the use case is dependencies are meant to get imported in your project where you want to reuse some code, right? Let's suppose someone has written to add an element into my list, right? I have list. I want to add some element. I'm able to use this method directly without giving the implementation of add method because this list is coming from something called Java util ka package. So these all utility classes, these all functions that we are able to use without using anything or without providing its implementation, they are coming from your packages which are written by someone, and they are nothing but reusable code or dependencies. So what do I mean by compiled code? Come to that. So it has some classes and functions that you can directly use and what we call as dependencies, right? You can import and whatever. And this is how you basically define a dependency that we have already seen in our pom.xml file. Now plugins are also programs, but the thing is, whenever you will use Maven has the capability to inject some code, some third-party code, which is called plugin. So people can argue कि भाई whatever you install in VS Code, Is it a plugin? Yes. Whatever you install in your IntelliJ, let's suppose some themes or something, right? It is able to integrate in your main program. That's what we call plugin. Whenever you are writing some plugin for Google Chrome, right, what exactly does it mean is that it can integrate with Google Chrome and it will work whenever Google Chrome is calling that plugin. So that's what Maven has, some inbuilt powers. It can use other third-party plugins so that we can extend the capability of Maven. That's why Maven and Gradle are, they do exist in market, because there are a lot of plugins and people are like, in our org we have our own plugins also, where we use let's suppose code inspection. You want to check if there is any security bug or something, you write your own plugin. Whenever you will use Maven, it will use that plugin to inspect your code. So that is the difference between dependency. Dependency is just a code that you can import, use. Plugin is code which will come into the picture when you are using your main program, which is Maven here. So plugin is just which extend Maven lifecycle whenever you are compiling, testing, deploying code, whatever, right? And this again is the structure of plugins, how Maven pom.xml file identifies the plugin. If you want to add any plugin, your plugin should have structure like this. It should have some artifact ID, it should have some version. How to add plugin, we'll come to that. So by default, I am getting these plugins in Maven archetype generate command. It generated my template project with these plugins already inbuilt, right? Maven compiler plugin, Surefire plugin, jar plugin, var plugin, or deploy plugin, right? So this plugin, Maven will say ki bhai, okay, user wants to compile the program, let's use this program, which is Maven compiler plugin. User want to run the test cases, okay, let's use this plugin, Maven Surefire plugin, whatever. But you might say ki bhai, how Maven knows ki when to compile, when to test, when to deploy? That's where Maven comes into handy using pom.xml file. So now let's go to your terminal. Okay. So whatever plugins you have, right, you have Maven clean plugin. Let's use mvn clean. It has printed something, right? Another is Maven compiler plugin. So let's use command Maven compile. So it has printed something, right? So we will go through the output key, what exactly it is doing, what exactly it is calling, and how it is able to build and where the files are going. But the thing is, you are able to use plugins. First, you are calling Maven ka binary. Then you are saying that you use compile plugin. Okay? When you are entering, it will go to pom.xml file. Okay? It will check if compile plugin is there. Yes, it is there. Then it will, call that plugin wherever it is present. We'll come to that where it is present. But before that, let's come again, to dependencies management. You have included one dependency, like Maven has included one dependency by default, JUnit, Jupyter, whatever, right? Let's close everything. And let's come to the point ki how exactly these dependencies are being managed, right? See, in your project structure, you will be able to see your project and your external libraries. Going forward, whenever we will face any issue, we'll go into the libraries implementation, we'll put a debug point and we'll check ki bhai how the things are working under the library, right? Now let's come to external libraries. So you can see I'm using JDK24 ka folder. If you might observed, I have included Java 21. Agar yaad ho aapko, JDK24 in Java home, whatever, right? I hope everyone remembers. Now the second thing is we are using some of the dependencies here. Okay. Now let's go to first dependency. This dependency is a jar file. So this is the power of IntelliJ. If you are using VS Code, that's why, like on internet, most of the people use VS Code, but in VS Code it's very hard because that is a code editor, not an integrated development environment. This IntelliJ is an IDE where you will be able to get all the implementations, right? See, now in your external libraries, you have first dependency or library, whichever you have included here in pom.xml file, right? When you will run Maven clean install, right? Your pom.xml file, though it has some dependencies, plugins included, whenever you will run some command like Maven clean install, it will be able to run some steps. We'll come to the steps. Okay, don't worry. It will run some steps. If it will include some folders, and one of the folder, or I will say directories, are your external libraries. So let's go to meta info. Now here you can see org.api guardian.api. This is also again org api guardian. I'm just curious. Let's see. Okay, so api guardian is api guardian team. So you can understand ki someone made some project, right? So he or she is naming key organization dot name dot whatever with their building. They have built one api. Let's go inside api status, right? So these are some of the files that will be used while we are running test cases, while we are using these dependencies. So all the files you will be able to see here. Commands will come to that, don't worry. Now we have a structure. Okay, now we have structure. See commands. Okay, as of now I've just explained you, just reiterating that we have dependencies, we have plugins. Okay, what is a structure to define a dependency? Okay, what is a structure to define a plugin, and what is a structure to give to Maven so that it can uniquely identify where is your project. Okay, so after doing everything, just run the command maven clean install whatever. It will check your project, it will run some methods in Maven lifecycle, and it will give you some of the folders, right? One of that folder is Java 21 that we are using. All the functionalities are here. Whatever functionality we'll use. Okay. Second thing is this dependency, second dependency, and everything. Though these are, if you'll go inside, these are Java archive files. We have discussed about Java archive file, but you are able to open. Okay. So that's why I always use IntelliJ. Now comes the point ki bhai, okay, this structure I've just written here for your notes. Now comes the point ki bhai, how do you know the Maven commands, right? So let's check Maven compile plugin. Okay, so before answering this question, how you know ki which command to run, let's come to the point. How do you even know ki this Maven compile ke liye you need Maven clean plug, sorry, not compile clean, you need this compiler plugin. How do you even know, right? Ki which plugin to include. Let's suppose your Maven has given you something where even this is not there, this doesn't exist. What you will do? So for any dependency, for any plugin, whatever you want to use, you have to go to Maven ka repository. Okay, just type here Maven repository. Go inside Maven repository, and here are all the plugins, whatever dependencies that you can find. So you might have seen JUnit, which Maven is already using in its pom.xml file. I've typed JUnit. It has, let's go inside. No, let's go here, and let's come to latest version 5.13. Now it has given me, okay, you want to use JUnit Jupyter API as your dependency so that you are able to use JUnit functionality. Use this. Okay, use this. So that's how this repository works. We'll come to repository, but first answering your question, how do you know the commands? So there are common commands which are compile, right, which are install, which are clean, and deploy. How do I know these commands? From Maven lifecycle. Okay, whenever you want to, so if you are working React.js, you must have known the life cycle of React, how it goes through hooks, how it goes and check JSX code and convert it to JavaScript or simple normal HTML code, how it goes to DOM and check by what exactly it has to change. So all the programs whatever has written has clean structure or life cycle that they have to follow. क्योंकि अगर life cycle ही नहीं होगा, how will exactly program knows when to call which plugin, right? So we have first validate, where whenever you will run Maven validate, it will validate your pom.xml file ki bhai, if you have, okay, let's go and check this command first. Okay, I've ran Maven validate, and if you'll go through this, why I'm not able to scroll. Okay, cool. from pom.xml file, it's using your pom.xml file and build success whatever. So what exactly it is doing, it is using your pom.xml file and validating the schema if you are whatever pom.xml file you are using, if it is correct or not, right? Okay. Now I have given it group id. So I am using IntelliJ, it will give me error, but if you use VS Code, it will not give you error ki bhai what exactly it is. Okay. Group I, it's not able to recognize this name. As soon as I type group ID, it's able to recognize names. So that's what Maven validate, the first step of Maven will do. Okay. POM XML file को analyze करेगा. If it is correct, you are good to go. You can compile your project. ठीक है. Let's come to compilation. Maven compile. ठीक है. So if you will go through the output, what it has done is, when I have ran Maven compile, it is trying to build something which is my project 1.0 snapshot. Then it is using POM XML file. Then it is using some resources. We'll come to that. Okay. And then it is what is saying is ki compiler, whatever I am compiling my first project. Okay. Now it has compiled your first whatever project you have made. Let's see if any new folder is generated. Let's delete this target folder and let's see if it is generated using this command. So you will see after running Maven compile, it is generating target folder. So in our first session, we have went through ki whenever you are using your Java compiler like Java C test.java, we have seen it is able to convert your simple English to something which is called bytecode. So similarly here, Maven is managing why you don't have to do this. Just call me, give me the plugin compile. I will use compiler plugin and I will generate your code in target folder. So your target folder will have some classes, some generated sources, some Maven status, whatever. So in classes, we have similar structure, com, sing, dev, hub, app. It has generated something called some code, right? Some code, app.class. So if you have remember, we have generated from test Java to test class. ऐसा कुछ किया था हमने, right? Which we called as bytecode. Now it has just compiled, है ना? Compiled means if there are any normal errors, those will be reported and your this Maven compile command will fail. What do I meant here is, let's suppose go to app and type any random thing. Now this code is wrong because Java compiler will not be able to check by what exactly this AW means. There is no reserved keyword. There is nothing called AW in by default in Java runtime environment or in general compiler ka whatever it is checking. Okay. Now let's see Maven compile. What it will do, Maven compile, it will run validate stage first, then it will run compile. Validate stage though will pass because our pom.xml file is correct only, but compile stage should fail. Okay, it failed. So it has some syntax thing. I don't want to go in the details of compiler, but it generated some errors ki bhai ye nahi lagaya, or if I'll do this, it will say ki bhai there is no string or something written, है ना, that data type usko chahiye kuch, right? So this is correct, but even if it is doing, you are doing this, you are getting some errors, right? So Maven validate will pass. Let's check Maven validate. It should pass, right? Maven validate build success, but it doesn't mean that your code is correct. It just means that your pom.xml file is correct. You are good to go with your compile stage, compile ka step. So compile stage is nothing but just compiling your code into bytecode, okay? Generating in target folder. Next thing is test. So whatever our Maven archetype generate command has generated, it has generated some test case also, right? Which is a normal test case, and it should pass, right? Because Maven himself has done this. So Maven test. Okay. So let me remove this. So now, okay, this is a good thing that it happened. Now I have ran test command with this AW, which is synthetically wrong, right? When I ran Maven test, it failed. Why? Because it first ran validate stage, it then ran a compile stage, and at compile stage it failed. That's why at test stage it didn't, arrive. So let me remove this thing, Maven test. So now when you are running Maven test, Basically it's using your the only test case class which exists, right? And it is saying that test run 1 and failure is 0. Basically whatever you want to run, it has ran, and it has used app.test class. Automatically it will find out, okay, what are the test cases there. Okay, cool. So the next thing is package the code. Now one thing you might have noticed that whenever we have ran Maven compile, it just have compiled our code. There is not a single file which can bundle our project. If you'll go, there are classes, everything is segregated, everything is fela hua. So you have annotations, you have test annotation, compile, test compile, some XML file, some random stuff, right? You don't even know a single file which you can take and you can pass to your friend ki bhai, this is the project that I made, try it running at your system. Or this is the file that I have made, a project I have made, try deploying somewhere using Docker. There should be some single file. That's what we call as Java archive or jar. People who are aware, if you have played some game in your purane Samsung Nokia phone, you might have remembered that jar files are also there, where we will download games in jar file, and then we'll install and we'll able to play those games, right? Why we are able to play jar games? Because it will have everything in itself, code, dependencies, or anything which is needed, right? So I don't want to go into details ki on while how jar works, but in a nutshell, I am trying to say ki bhai, jar Java archive a single file we need. So for that we need Maven package, right? I hope it is package only. Okay, package. Yeah. So now package is validating. Okay, package is validating, compiling, testing, and then packaging up your application, right? Now your application is packaged up and you can deploy your application somewhere. Let's see where is it generated. Now you can see your artifact ID, my project, your version 1.0 whatever snapshot .jar. Now this is the single file which will have everything in included in itself. So this file only we'll use in Docker when we'll deploy our projects. But yeah, so the next thing is verify. This is a homework, we'll come to that, what exactly is the homework for you. But verify stage, I'll tell you ki for some companies like us or Google or Microsoft, it's not enough ki bhai you have written test cases, fine, your written test cases, fine, you can deploy your code. It's not like that, right? There are some common security bugs or some redundant code that you might have written. Let's suppose you have added 30 dependencies in your project, but when your project is completed, you end up using 2 dependencies only. So these 28 dependencies are waste, but they will still go in your jar. But you have also used those dependencies. Let's suppose you are importing mp3 from some dependencies, but whatever you are importing in your code, you are not even using that anywhere. So that what we call as unused imports, unused code. So all these things you might see ki bhai ye to bahut normal cheez hai. If your project is working, everything should be fine. Why we want to remove the unused code? The thing is ki, okay, let me ask you something ki snake game आपके फोन में है, snake.jar. If it is 1 GB at that time when you didn't have an Android phone, क्या आप इसको खेल पाते? Okay, so the thing is ki it matters. Okay, it matters a lot whenever your project becomes complex. It matters a lot if you are using any imports and they are not being used. The Maven external libraries are not showing. Okay, we'll check that. Cool. So verify is a step where you can verify your project if there is anything which is is not required, or some security bug or something, right? Cool. So this is another step. Then install. Now let's check install Maven. So Maven clean is to just let's see Maven clean also. Yeah, that's what I'm coming to, globally or whatever. So Maven clean, when I ran Maven clean, there is no target folder, so it's just cleaned up your project, right? It just cleaned up your project, and when you will do again Maven install, your target project will come, right? So you can even combine the different commands. Let's suppose Maven clean, and then maybe install, or maybe validate, install package. That's what we have. no, not package. Yeah, package. Okay, cool. So you can combine different steps also, and it will basically use all the plugins whatever we mentioned, like compile or whatever, and it will run step by step. That's what lifecycle means. Ki bhai, first do this, then do this, then that, then that. Okay, cool. So let's check Maven install package. Right, there are two things. First one is Maven package, which is generating a target mein your jar file. Maven install is doing that. What is the difference? What is the difference? Right, so this whatever install is, it is installing, or it is actually copy pasting your jar file to some repository. In our case, we don't have any repository, which is our local repository itself. Okay, so in our case, we have local repository, which in most of the operating system will be at your home. So cd tilde will go to our home, and it is .m2 file, folder should be there, cd.m2, and here you will see key you have repository folder inside m2. Let's go to repository, and let's check what exactly I have here. Yeah, I think this is the folder. Yeah, com folder is there. So basically it is copying using my group id and artifact id. So my yeah, group id, artifact id, this com dot sing dev hub. Yeah, so now here we should have my first project, which is written at around 8, right? So my first project, yeah, 1.0 whatever snapshot is there, right? And it has some xml. Let's check what exactly this is. I've never checked this. Okay, so it has unique metadata which will identify our program, project, whatever. That metadata is ki bhai whatever xml version is there, group id, artifact id, version, last updated date, and all. This is a timestamp. I think date only. Cool. Timestamp, date. Okay, ठीक है. So Maven install, you can go through this. These I will make these kind of notes pointers for you, so that in any time you can check कि Maven install क्या करता है. Install jar package or just copy paste from target folder to your repository. Local repository is nothing but whenever you want to install anything other than your remote repository, that is local repository. What do I mean by remote repository and local repository? So if you are working in some company, right, so they have their local repository, remote repository set up as a local repository. How, what does I mean here is that you have some virtual private network, right? Like our company, we have VPN. Microsoft, Google, they have their own VPN. So in that VPN, they have some repository, right? And on my laptop, whenever I will do Maven deploy or Maven anything, it will go to my internal repository. Whatever dependencies projects I am making, my internal employees inside that company can import, can use as a dependency, but not outer world, right? Outer world, we have already went through. Maven repository is there, like this JUnit, JUpiter API. What exactly is this? This is some project, right? It's made by someone. This is nothing, complex. It's just some instructions written जैसे हम कर रहे हैं, right? It has some jar and metadata. We are just using Maven repository here, which is public, like Docker repository, like GitHub. ठीक है? So that is the difference. In company also, they call remote repository as their setup repository under their VPN. For us, we call remote repository as Maven ka public repository. Remote for us is Maven public repository, and local is our machine only, which is .m2 folder के अंदर your artifact ID, group ID, and then your jar file, which is nothing but copied from your target folder with some extra metadata. ठीक है? So now, whenever we are doing Maven deploy, it is saying that failed. Okay, let me show here only. It is showing deployment failed. Whenever I want to deploy my project, do you know that where I'm trying to deploy? Do you have any idea? No, because there is no plugin, nothing specified for deployment. Plugins are for test, plugins are for validation, for deploy, or deploy plugins there. But there is one more thing which is required, URL. Because if plugin is there, URL must also be there. Ki bhai, if I want to deploy, let's suppose on GitHub, so GitHub ka URL to I have to give na. So that is not there. And it is also saying repository element was not specified in the POM inside distribution management, right? Now we'll come to that, how to use your own plugin, integrate your own plugin. But why I'm not able to deploy? Because I have not provided any context to my pom.xml file ki where to deploy. Plugin is there, Maven deploy, the destination is not there, right? So that's what this error specifies here, Maven deploy. Now before going to next command, I will though this will come in your homework, right? Maven deploy or this thing, but yeah, this error you must be getting, only then you will be able to do your homework, right? Cool. Unauthorized or distribution management is not there, right? For a hint, you just have to go and type Maven deploy distribution error. Okay, repository element was not fine. Don't ask ChatGPT. So go through this. This is the question. Go through the answer. Okay. You should be able to understand. Cool. So next thing is Maven wrapper. This thing most of the people use, even in my company and some other places I've seen people using Maven wrapper, Gradle wrapper, but they don't even know why they are using it, right? So this people don't ask these type of questions, but this is extremely important. Okay. Maven wrapper. So just observe कि यहाँ पे क्या बनता है. So there are three things or two things created, MB and W, which is a executable. Executable means कि it's a compiled version, right? Whatever you have written a code, it's compiled. It's everything is done, compiled or whatever, assembly करके एक normal single file. And this MV and W command, right? This is some language, ठीक है, command prompt का. But what does they exactly mean is people don't know. So why I'm doing Maven wrapper? So see, nowadays we have a fancy term called Docker. Docker has its own operating system. Most of the times you have to give, but assume Docker is some functionality which has its own operating system. It has some own resources like RAM, CPU, and you can just go and deploy whatever you want, right? In some Docker machine, Docker container, whatever, right? Let's don't go to Docker, but the main purpose of Docker was to provide a single platform where multiple people can deploy their program so that it will work. Now what I will do is I'm using, let's suppose Maven ka version, what version I'm using? 4.0 Apache. Okay, some version you have to check 4.0, I think. Okay, let's suppose I am using Maven ka 4.0 version, and now someone is on old Maven or more old Gradle. This is the most common error people are facing on YouTube free wala videos jo we upload, and they are not even able to resolve, right? The thing is ki, because I have not explained on YouTube ki what exactly Maven wrapper is. So basically, let's suppose I am using Maven 4.0. Someone is using Maven 3.0 or any version lower than whatever the latest version is, right? Or I'm using, let's suppose, lower version, and someone is using newer version, right? There could be some discrepancies ki you can't compile your program using old Maven or old new Maven, because I who made this program is being compiled using some version, and someone is using some old or new version to compile that program again, right? Or to just test that program or any Maven command. So they have provided Maven wrapper. So you can wrap your Maven, whatever Maven I'm using on my machine, you can wrap that. So whenever you will do Maven wrapper, now your local Maven wrapper is there. Now, whenever I am deploying my project to GitHub, I will provide this Maven wrapper to the people also. If they have not installed Maven, they will be able to use Maven directly and my own version, my own specification. So let's see if I'm able to use this Maven wrapper or not. Now I'm able to use this Maven wrapper. How to execute any executable in Windows is this. In any operating system, you can execute like this, right? So it's using my own Maven wrapper. So now when I will share my project with anyone, this Maven he or she can use, so that he will not get any errors. So It's as simple as that. He used to maintain consistency across machines, will give us executable like mvnw, and you can use mvnw. So w is missing here. Okay, so that was it for Maven. The thing is ki, let's see in our last assignment what was the structure, whatever assignment we have like given. Let me give to, okay, so this is the first assignment that I have given. I have not explained anything yet. Int, character, padding, जो भी है, I have not explained anything because I want you to first go through the assignment, so that when I will explain, you will be able to understand कि, okay, this is the misunderstanding that we got from internet or so whatever, right? Let me zoom this thing. So this whatever assignment we have, just refer to our last session. You will understand ki how to basically code in this assignment. But common thing which I want to explain is, this is the Maven project itself that I am giving you, right? Right, so I have some assignments and we have some file here, and in our test cases, for this file, hello world is your assignment, hello world test is your assignment, where we are just using some common things, character, string, and everything, right? So these are the test cases that I've written. So the command that we ran yesterday is maven test. We are using plugin maven test. Then we are giving the program arguments. What do I mean by program arguments? Just wait for 5 minutes more. I'm giving something like a d test is equals to file name hello world test and hashtag the test case, which is say hello. We have already I've already explained this, how to run test case and all. So now first thing, it is using downloading from Maven Central. It's going to Maven ka public repository, it's going to everything, and whatever plugin I'm using in your assignments, it is downloading those plugins first. Then it is using those plugins to run my test case also. So you can just go through the output ki bhai, whatever it is downloading, you can go through that. Okay, and then also you can go to pom.xml file, what plugins I am using here. Okay, so these are again the normal plugin that we are using, but the thing is we are doing something extra here, which is Maven test to hai, but we are using some program arguments. What exactly program arguments I meant here is, I hope you already remember some things that we have yeah, so I hope you remember something that we have already discussed yesterday. Standard input, standard output, something this related to this. I hope everyone remembers. Okay, so that's what I am giving there as a program argument, right? So before going to program argument, let me tell you the homework. So first homework, first task is just go through the assignment. You have some days, and before me teaching you something into character arrays, and it's not a normal session. Okay, like I will not tell you कि भाई int मतलब integer, char मतलब character, arrays मतलब list. That to anyways doesn't matter. क्यों? Because when we will make good projects in CS fundamentals, things matter. Okay, कि how lists are implemented. ठीक है? Then second thing we have to deploy, you have to do is try Maven deploy. We have tried Maven deploy, and you can refer the recording. Ki we went ki bhai, first you have to check distribution management, something we got right when we tried Maven deploy, or some errors we got. You just have to debug that and try to deploy your jar file on your public Maven repository, जैसे कि लोगों ने already किया हुआ है, right? Like Jackson data bind or Scala. Cool. The second thing is ki we'll do this. You don't have to integrate in other projects, because I hope you don't have any other project as of now. The second thing is add a plugin of yours. Now I know why people were asking me to make some pointers. See, I have told you that there is something called verify stage also in Maven lifecycle that you have to do. Because why? Now we don't have any verification plugin, which is the most common plugin in any YouTube video. Also you can go through, and people always try to integrate one plugin, which is verify plugin. Let's see if it is there. So we have jar plugin, install plugin, deploy plugin, and compiler plugin, whatever plugin. Okay. There is one more plugin which is verification plugin. So we have Apache P, what exactly it is using. Okay, Maven verifier plugin. Okay. So here you can see ki okay, I wanted to use some other plugin, but the homework here is use any verification plugin. जो भी verification plugin you have to use, just go through the goals. Every verification plugin has some goals. So first of all, this is the everyone is clear: group ID, artifact ID, version, whatever. Then configuration, right? It has some extra metadata also. You just have to copy paste this, let's suppose, and put this in build. Build so you already have. Build so you already have. Inside build you have plugins. Like this only you have to put here plugin, right? So plugins is already there here. So now you are able to import some plugins. But the extra thing that I wanted to confirm, to explain here is that you have some execution step here. Now one plugin could be verify plugin, and that verification plugin might have some goal skill. Let's suppose first goal is unused code ko verify karna. So I don't want that goal. Let's suppose I will not include that goal. I need only one goal from this verification plugin, and that is some phase goals. So all these tags, how you will know? You just have to go through the documentation. Now the documentation of this Apache Maven verifier plugin is ki bhai there are goals. So this is the structure that you have to use here, right? So yeah, the verifier plugin will fail your build if verification rules found in verification file. So verification test file is there, fails. जो भी उन्होंने rule define किए हैं, if those rules fails, your verification stage will fail. If you do not want verifier plugin to, then you can just fail on error to false. ठीक है? Okay, they have not included it, but what they are saying is कि if you don't want to fail your whatever, let's suppose you are doing Maven install. Let's suppose you are doing Maven install or Maven deploy. Maven deploy will run, validate, compile, test, package, verify. They are saying if you want to fail your step, ठीक है, if you want to fail the life cycle of Maven itself, कि भाई you want to deploy, you want कि अगर verification stage fail हो गया, don't even deploy, then तो it's fine. But if you want to just check the report कि भाई generate the report, but I want to continue the process, then you can include fail on error to false. Like what they are saying is कि जो भी आपने copy paste किया है यहाँ से, just copy paste everything like that, जो हमने I think copy paste किया था. Yeah. So what is saying is कि inside plugin you can just say fail on error. Now that you have to figure out कि भाई इसको कहाँ exactly you have to set. Now this fail on error, giving error here. Let's go inside execution. तो I think execution में phase में आएगा क्या ये, या फिर goal में? Okay. Here also it's not working. So that you have to find out ki bhai from the documentation of this plugin, I have not used this plugin, how to use this plugin, and if you want to use anything from documentation, how to use that. Okay. First homework is that I will to anyways figure out ki, but this is a homework for you ki bhai how to integrate any third party plugin which is not there by default by Maven. Most of the people also working in industry, they don't even know ki why plugins are even there, right? They will keep on working with existing plugins because most of the people only focus on writing this, right, code. Cool. So the third thing is add plugin. You can add a verification plugin. You can add some other compiler plugin. Okay. कोई भी plugin you want to add, just you have to, I want one thing, just you have to go through this pom.xml and make some changes. ठीक है? Okay, and if you are adding verify plugin, just check if your verification plugin is being run. Just use Maven verify and try to find out if your plugin is used or not. So here I am using compiler, test compile, and you will see some verification plugin also here somewhere. Okay, if it is present. Okay, so next week, before next week, these three things you have to do. You have so many days. I hope you will put efforts. Okay, and this next week agenda is you will go through some of the basic things like primitive types, classes, and objects. And while going through assignment 1 also, we'll take assignment 1, we'll solve it quickly, and then we'll go through wrapper classes, and then we'll check memory allocation, exactly how memory allocation is done by compilers that we have not discussed yet, how padding is being there whenever you are defining any class or object, whatever, how padding is there, how, let's suppose some 4 KB or whatever memory is being allocated as a padding for some classes and data types, which data type is not exactly 4 byte. People are saying it's 4 byte, but it's not exactly 4 byte, it's using some padding also. All these things we'll discuss, but I want feedback also कि कैसा था session आज का, but we'll progress slowly. ठीक है, I will progress slowly to complex things. I'll provide this whole whatever we have discussed, we went through, as a resource. That resource you can just go to the video of this session and go to download external resources. So Aditya is saying, so this is something called eslint. Okay, I have not went through eslint kabhi bhi. Okay, okay, this blog is still relevant. Apache. Yeah, I think it's like eLint only, because it's saying that eLint is a verifier or something. Prettier eslint. Yes, I think yes, eLint. So people who are from JavaScript, I think they can resonate. I have no. Yes, exactly. Okay, it's already 1.5 hours. If anyone has any doubt, you can type or you can ask for stage. Okay. Okay, someone, Sarwan, let me just give me a minute. Yes, guys, if anyone has any doubt, you can ask to add on stage. We'll add, and we'll take 2-3 minutes only, because I don't think today koi bhi doubt hoga. If you have, but you can request.